Okay, so I recently purchased a stack of books here from my local thrift store, and I was getting ready to sit down and put on some Brodart dust jacket protectors on these, and I thought it might be a good opportunity to go ahead and do a video talking about a couple different aspects of this. Now, there's a lot of videos out there where people will just show you how to put these things on, and towards the end of the video, I will have a demonstration of putting a couple of these on and a trick for correcting when a dust jacket is kind of improperly aligned. And it's something that it's a perfect time when you're putting a protector on here to kind of realign the dust jacket onto the spine. So I'm going to show you that too at the end. But something that I don't see a lot of people talk about is where to buy these, pricing, and how to size them. So let's just get into pricing first. Now, you can go to many different retailers and you can buy sheets of them. This is just a pre-cut sheet. And you can buy rolls of them, which is what I have here, and I'll show you that in a minute. But the major retailers out there, they're convenient, the shipping is fast. But my suggestion is to go to Brodart's website, and I'm not affiliated with them. But I will demonstrate here how you can save money and you'll support a pretty cool company. You can tell if you kind of browse around on their website, they're mainly geared to providing supplies for libraries, maybe some bookstores, and a few individuals out there. Now, they're going to charge you for shipping, and it might be a little slower than some other places. But overall, you can save a lot of money by buying them directly from Brodart. And the website's really cool. They have everything from rolly book carts to spinner racks, all kinds of things to protect and care for your books. And it goes beyond that. Barcode scanners, all kinds of things. But I bought this roll of 9-inch book covers, and I'll get to that in a minute when I get into the sizing. I bought a 300-foot roll. And I bought it for about a year and a half ago, and they were having a sale. So it was $40-some. They charge you about $11 for shipping. So I ended up paying $52.82 shipped to my house, and it came basically in a box here. And it's a roll of 300 feet. So if you do the math on this, 300 feet times 12 inches, that's 3,600 inches of dust jacket protectors. I cut mine usually to about 18 inches. Now this pre-cut one for larger hardbacks, and we'll get into that in a minute, these are usually cut at like 21 inches. This is a 10-inch in height, and they're pre-cut 21 inches long. So my 9-inch roll here, I usually cut these to 18 inches in length. So that gives me about 200 covers that I can get out of a box here. Now, if you do the math, I paid $52.82. That comes out to less than 25 cents each. And if you go to a lot of these retailers, they're going to charge you a lot more than that. And yes, I did get these on sale. I think when I looked these up, this specific roll is not in stock right now. And I should also mention probably the most popular variety from Brodart is the Just-A-Fold 3. These are the ones that you'll see around a lot. I think most people like these the best. They have these perforated tabs, which I'll show you how that works when you're putting them on. Now the Just-A-Fold 2s had these little pre-sticky tabs on the protector, and you could kind of stick it down. And I think most people agree that you don't really need to tape these. You don't need any kind of sticky adhesive. You just need to fold them down. If you do it properly, they'll stay on forever. So I think most people go with the Just-A-Fold 3s, and that's what I'm going to be kind of talking about when I'm talking about prices here. Now, most of these regular online retailers, you're going to pay at least $1 a piece for each sheet if you buy them in sheets, and you might be able to get them a little bit cheaper if you buy rolls. But I just did some calculations on Brodart's website, because most people who buy or have a lot of the larger size hardbacks, you're going to end up buying the 10-inch ones. Like I said, we'll get into how you size those. But it's probably the most common size that people buy. I do a lot of these book clubs. I collect these, and that's why I went down to a 9-inch size. But if you're buying a 10-inch dust jacket protector from Brodart's website, and you buy a 300-foot roll and you cut them to 21 inches, you're going to get them for about 42 cents a piece. If you buy a 100-foot roll, that's going to bring the price up to about 77 cents a piece after you've cut them all to length. And if you just bought a pack of 25 sheets exactly like this, pre-cut 21 inches, that's going to cost you about $1 a sheet. And that's a little bit less than any of these other online retailers. So I guess I'm done kind of promoting Brodart as a company, but I prefer to shop through them. Now let's get into sizing a little bit. Now, like I said, I usually collect and buy these old science fiction book club editions. And if you put a tape measure on here, these are about 8.5 inches. So you're always going to try to size the next inch up when you're buying the dust jacket protectors. So if my book club edition is 8.5 inches, you're going to want to go up to the 9-inch, and that gives you a little leeway to fold them back. And I'll show you that when we get into the application. Now here's just like a standard size hardback that you're going to find when these books first come out. And these are 9.5 inches. So that's why if you're getting a lot of these normal size hardbacks, you're going to want to get the 10-inch dust jacket protector. And if you put it up here, you'll see it gives you a little leeway. And with these perforated tabs here, that lets you fold it back and give you a nice clean look at the end. So that's kind of some information that I don't hear a lot of other people talk about. Hopefully that gives you enough information to look at your books, measure them, count up how many of what size you need. It's always going to be better if you buy it's going to be cheaper if you buy a roll, if you buy these things in bulk. If you think you're going to go through these, and even like I bought this roll and I knew it's going to take me years before I apply them all or use it all up. But for 25 cents a piece, that was a reasonable price for me because I'm kind of a deal hunter. Most of these, I just scored these at a thrift store for 10 cents each. So I'm going to be putting a 25-cent dust jacket protector on a book that I paid 10 cents for. Now, usually I'm fine paying $2 a piece for a nice condition science fiction book club edition. But if you're paying more than $1 a piece for a dust jacket protector, it's like half the cost of the book that you're buying. So I'm someone that's always looking for a deal, and I kind of wanted to maybe help pass along a little bit of information to help you size these and maybe find a good deal. So now let's just kind of go through and show you how you put a couple of these on. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put a dust jacket protector on this book, and like I said, we're going to try to realign the spine here. So if you look in here, this is how these rolls come. And they do a really good job. It's all installed like this, ready to go. There's a little bit of paper here, but I've done these enough that I put the box here, I run it out to about here, and I cut it about here, and this is usually about 18 inches. That can get tossed, and now I have a home cut sheet here. So I'm going to take the dust jacket off. I'll set the book aside. And then the first thing I'll do is just kind of try to flatten it out a little bit so it goes in easier. And then I just bring this towards me, get this out, I pull it in, and then what I do is I kind of just try to center it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I take this spine and I gently tuck it in as far as I think, and I kind of wiggle it back and forth, and then I press down. Now if I did this right, when I roll this out, you can see right here, it goes all the way to the bottom. And if you look at this side, it's all the way to the bottom as well. That means the dust jacket is back here as far as possible. Now you've got these perforated tabs, and you find the one that is, I don't like to have any white above the dust jacket, so I find the one that's the closest below it, or right on it, and you fold this back like that. You're always kind of holding some pressure down so your jacket doesn't slip back up. You want a nice tight fit here. Then you take your Mylar, you kind of first just kind of fold it down, get everything flat, and then I just take my hand and kind of give it a nice crease here. Fold it down. And there we go. It's on there really good. And you can see how it was off when it was folded around the book. So now we're going to try to correct that a little bit. This can be a little tricky. Once you have a nice crease on here, it should kind of snap back into place. But we're going to have to, see, it's going to want to go to this natural crease that was on the dust jacket, but we want to realign this. So what I do is I get it in here, I pull it back, and that's going to realign this top. Now I pull it tight, flip it over, and you're going to see we're going to have a new crease on this side too. And there we go. So, you know, it's a little firm at first, and over time this will kind of settle back in, but you can tell that's a lot better centered before. If it was on a shelf now, you can see the entire name, Clifford Simic, and over time this will kind of just re-crease itself, and there you go. So now I'm going to show you another thing. So I'll go ahead and cut this again, another one. And just as an example, I'm going to show you what would happen if you tried to take one of these larger dust jackets and use a 9-inch on it, and why it's kind of important to size them correctly. So I'm going to kind of go through the same process here. You know, flatten it out a little bit. And then if I was to put this standard dust jacket in here, you can tell it doesn't, we don't even have enough room to use the folds. Now you could just fold this back and this would work in a pinch, but it's the wrong size jacket for the protector. So here is a 10-inch one that I mentioned earlier. Most people would probably end up buying these. And this is pre-cut to 21 inches. I like to have them cut a little shorter than the jacket, but this still works kind of like the other way. So you fold it out. It's harder to tell if you got it all the way in, but it looks like it is. Can shimmy it down a little bit more. Here we go. So I look at both ends and they look completely to the bottom. So I'm going to find my fold And then take my Mylar, careful not to crease it. Get it nice and flat. Then if I'm not trying to correct the dust jacket, I just get that in that side. Get it in over on this side. You can tell we loosened up a little bit there. And there we go. Now, if you look really close, you can see the tip of the white. If that really bothers you, you could take the next fold down, and then you wouldn't see that white at all, and you would just fold your Mylar just like normal around the jacket, and you would probably have a little bit of a cleaner look. Let's go ahead and try that real quick. So our jacket should still be in here good. But let's just drop it down to the next fold line. And as long as your jacket is in good shape, there's no need to have this backing come all the way up to the top. Our crease here should be just about the same. And if we put this back on, you'll see we completely eliminated that little bit of white that was at the top. So that's kind of my preference. I don't like to see any of the white on the top. I just want to see the dust jacket. And you know, you can kind of keep fiddling with it a little bit, and then when you put it on your shelf and it's sitting on the bookshelf for a little while, this will just kind of conform to the book, and you'll have a nice protected book for easy handling. This kind of helps block the sun damage you'll get and all those kinds of things. Like I've said before, or said earlier, I don't think you need to tape any of these down. They will just stay once you've folded them, and I've done this for years and it works really good. So that's kind of a little rundown on a couple different options, and hope that helped. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you found some value out of this. I hope you learned now how to size them for your needs, a good place to buy them for the best value that you can find, and how to put them on quickly and fairly efficiently. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.